Hello friends, family, and other creatures of the sea, and welcome to a best of 3 between Stats and Byun. And today we have probably my all-time favorite build that is being played here. This is the build, my dear friends, that I think I've perfected at this point. I know how to execute it. I know how to play it perfectly. It's of course the Proxy 2-Rex Marauder. I think this is the strongest cheese with the lowest amount of skill necessary to execute against Protoss with Terran. I think maybe that has ever been. I can't recall there ever being a stronger cheese than this one in particular. This is a free win versus any non-scouting Protoss player, which Stats happens to be. But it's also very powerful against people that do end up scouting. It's not necessarily great on this map because there's a ramp. Ramps make this build harder to execute because high ground vision generally is useful to have, but I don't think it's really gonna matter because he's going to have, Byun's gonna have 2-3 Marauders. Stats is going to have a single unit and no battery, and even if he had a battery, it wouldn't be enough. So usually what you do is you wait for your concussive shells and then you go. You can also wait for your third Marauder and then you go. There's really many things you can do. You can wait and go, you can go and go. You can pull your workers behind it, you can not pull your workers. You can literally do anything. If your opponent doesn't scout, I think it's fairly irrelevant. And this is the game. Losing that first Stalker for free is not great. And, well, it's gonna die eventually. I guess it hasn't been lost. The way that Stats potentially could hold is by continuing to build batteries on the high ground and sentries on the high ground and then trying to keep the ramp. That's the only solution. There's no way in hell he's going to keep his low ground base. It is simply impossible. Yes, you're gonna get your battery up, but it's actually completely irrelevant. It really doesn't matter. This is a dream because you're being outproduced by someone with 2 barracks. You can't hold this if you only have a single battery. You're gonna need 4 batteries. You're gonna need some type of follow-up tech, and instead Stats is just going to straight up die. Byun wins game number 1, and just like that we arrive game number 2. The question that I have for myself and my friends is, what is the chance that Stats goes for a no scout? Because realistically, Byun is not gonna play the same build again, right? Like, that's not a Byun move, I think. He's not gonna go for another Marauder proxy. If you have some serious balls and your Stats, he just no scout. That's a baller move, I think. We're gonna see here. He's sending it across the map. Do you really think Byun is gonna proxy again? No, of course not. That is why after you get cheesed, you should never scout the next game. This is a rule that well, not that I always hold myself to, but I think is a good rule, especially if you lose against the cheese. If you win against the cheese, sometimes the opponent wants to do it again, but if you lose against the cheese, then don't scout the next game. That's absolutely key. This will work 90% of the time, guaranteed. All right. Gonna have a guess first coming out of Byun. This is one of the most common builds on this map. I can explain to all of you why, but first I want y'all to think for yourself. Why is gas first into Reaper such a common build order on this map? Ding, ding, ding. Right, you're all correct. Good job. I feel like I'm Dora the Explorer over here. Did you guys scream it at your screen? Good job. It's because the CC is free. There's nothing that can clear this command center, which is a big deal. This command center is going to finish up no matter what. So usually one of the issues with a gas first is that your initial Reaper is a little bit delayed, and if an adept goes across the map, you might struggle dealing with holding your CC and finishing it. Even if the probe goes for some counter harass, that can be difficult to deal with. There's just a lot of things that suck to fight against if you're playing gas first. Ooh. Wait, what? He's playing Stalker Stargate? Oh, that's funky, isn't it? That's funky. Yes, sir. I like this. Stalker, Adept, Warpgate? Is that what we're doing here? Is that the vibe? That is the vibe. Wow. This is a build that risky, sure, yeah. Definitely risky. Cancels the Adept, goes for the Stalker. Okay. Well, I mean, this is definitely just risky. if your opponent scouts that you have a Stargate, this just sucks for the Stargate player. Because you're delaying your Stargate units, you're delaying your follow-up, because you're spending a lot of gas into these units. However, if you don't get scouted, this can come as quite a surprise, let me tell you. Because Stalker usually goes into Twilight Council because it's just not so good with this type of build. You see, Byun opting for a 4 Hellion. Maybe even a 6 Hellion here. I'd love to see 2 mines here. I think 2 mines here would be phenomenal for Byun. Let's see what he's doing though. Okay, he's just gonna swap these around. Oracle as a result is gonna get some damage done. Could also decide to focus on the Hellions though. So there's a couple of things here that Stats could do with that Oracle. He's gonna send it across the map. There's really no defense whatsoever to speak of here. And Byun's gonna be having a blast with these cars. Look at this. Buff! 5 kills. He's gonna get 6 and 7. He's gonna get 8. He's gonna get 9. Can we get 10? Do I hear 10? Man in the back. Do I hear 10? Do I hear 10? No, I do hear -5 SCVs, -6, -7, -8 SCVs here. And we do hear 10. We hear 11. Someone at 12. Can I get it? Oh, can I get 10 kills here? This is really bad. This is actually really bad. Cloak is gonna finish up. And the first Banshee is about to hit as well. This bad boy needs to move back at a high pace. We have a battery done. This battery is empty though. It's a naked battery. Both players losing a lot of workers. Byun has the highest potential still getting some damage in. I don't think we'll see Stats getting any more damage in. Byun, look at this. Poof! 16 kills. It's gonna try to clear it. I mean, it's gonna clear it. He's gonna clear this battery. That's nice for him. Neato. Woohoo. Instantly rebuild. You lose a Banshee for it. It's not a great deal. You know, it's a bad trade deal. This is the type of deal that you wouldn't take had you read Art of the Deal. Byun doesn't like it. It's more of a player, not much of a reader. And this is also going to be a bad deal once more. I can already smell that. He's going to get nothing. And he's going to lose a Banshee. That is... some people would even call that the worst deal possible. Maybe he gets like a kill on one of the side probes. A side probe. It's possible. We'll see. That's one. Nope. Not going to get it. This is just awful. This is awful stuff. It really is. He's going to hide it in the corner. That doesn't really work because there's air units out. This is... impressive coping. That's coping if I've ever seen some coping. Ooh, you have double of those already. Double drops. It's minus 400 minerals or so. Minus 250, sorry. In the mining that you're losing. Banshee has now been cleared. As Byun's gonna set up shop. Both players are setting up shop on the other side of the map. Ooh, if you lose these, that's nasty. That's that's not nice. Not sure why I'm laughing, because it's not funny at all if you're a Byun fan. You could clear this battery, perhaps. I think that's going to be your main target. At the same time, it doesn't really have a whole lot of units at home. We do see a Banshee about to pop. That's like the 4th Banshee or so that we're seeing here. It's the only Banshee left on the map. 5 workers have gone down. I'm not sure if it's over here on the other side. At the 3rd base, perhaps. Either way, this Nexus is gonna fall. I appreciate what Stats is doing here and just letting it die. He says, hey, it's... well, actually, he's not gonna let it die. I don't appreciate this very much. Although, he might just be capable of stopping it. I was thinking letting it die in order to not lose too many Stalkers might be good. But he's actually gonna keep it alive, and that is... much better. That is a better call. Rather than letting it die, he keeps it alive. You're gonna have a lot of mining there, which is important because his worker count is relatively low actually. Get the recall as well, so it gets these Stalkers to semi-safety. And we have a Banshee popping in. It's gonna get a couple more kills, maybe 4 or 5 kills. Stats needs to be quick with the response. He needs to be quicker with the response. He's gonna lose a lot of workers here. This is painful. This is painful. This Banshee is potentially changing the outcome of the game here. Had those 7 workers not gone down, we're looking at this as... I don't want to say a run race, a race that has been ran, a race that's over. I'm not sure what the expression is. Either way, as something that is a game over, game, set, and match. Let's stick to the tennis terms. But if you kill 7 here, I think there's still a possibility. Yes, your stim is late. Yes, your combat shield is just barely started. And yes, we're playing 5 racks, which isn't great, but we have an opportunity here perhaps to move out with a 2-base all-in, kill our opponent. There are a lot of Stalkers on the map. And clearing all those extra workers means we get a delay in the added on gateways. In the extra Zealot Warpins as well. We have another Banshee popping in here. Gonna just get 3-4 kills. And hopefully we'll be capable of escaping as well. I'm not quite sure if that's gonna be the case. Oh, gets one more kill. Stalker's continuing to move home. Do we still have a Phoenix out? No, we don't. This thing actually could move to safety and force out a Phoenix. It actually could do that. And it is gonna move to safety and force out a Phoenix. 5 more worker kills. These Banshees, they never stop, my dear friend. Oh, that's another one. Really needs to move to safety, though. I think he's overstaying his welcome here. He's overstaying his welcome by quite a bit. The Stalkers agree with me. We'll shoot him out of the sky. Zealot's now moving across the map. It's 44 workers to 45. If Byun had played this particular, like 3 racks into triple CC, I actually think his position would be much better than it is right now. Because despite this good damage that he's dealt, he still is in a position where he needs to kill his opponent. The question is, can he do that? He doesn't have stim, doesn't have combat. Here we go with a big fight. 5 tanks, not sieged up. Combat shield finishes the dying seconds, but without stim, I think Stats is just gonna win this game, win this fight, win this game. As Byun fights a little bit too early. This is very unfortunate. If he had stim there, he eats him alive. Absolutely, and he just moved out too fast. Stats here, gonna take at least the lead here on this map. We have 47 workers to 45, but it is a gold base that is mining. We have a 4th base now under construction, and 7 Marines heading towards the top side. We'll get spotted by this stasis ward, I think. Look at it. Do you think he's gonna... Oh. So much vision on that stasis, huh? He's gonna walk straight into it, isn't he? He's absolutely going to walk straight. Poof. That's -7 Marines right there. Get a recall into the 3rd. You blink over to try and kill this. I think you do. GG gets called. Byun's not going to wait for it. Stats ties up the series. In our 3rd game, we have Byun going for another proxy here. Stats, luckily for Stats, is scouting. I'm really curious what the response is out of Korean players always. I think it's... I thought it was going to be more Zealot focused. I've been watching quite a few Koreans deal with this type of stuff, but a lot of them, they just don't seem to care. They're like, oh, you want to build a bunker here? That's fine. I'll not get a Zealot. And I think a lot of Koreans used to just kind of blindly build a Zealot, and foreigners didn't. And now I feel like a lot of foreigners build a Zealot, and apparently Koreans don't. Stats has always been a different type of beast, though. A monster when it comes to defending stuff. Ooh. This bad boy is going to stay alive. It means that the bunker finishes up. Ooh, the barracks is going to fly forward. What? Oh, he wants to build Marines then, doesn't he? Yeah, it's not gonna happen, Chief. That's not gonna happen. Starport? Reactor, starport, or CC. Okay, reactor, CC, low ground. He knows what he wants, and he wants what he knows. He's gonna get some cyclones out here, I think. This feels cyclone-y to me, at least. It feels very cyclone-y to me, actually. Leader's gonna pop back into this bunker. Get a fast CC on the low ground. How many cyclones can you get out of this thing? That's what I want to know. He has a lot of cash in the bank. Look at that. He's still mining a lot of gas too. 3-1. Ew. Nasty. Maybe triple CC? No. Double cyclone. Did his Reaper die? No, it's just hanging around in the main base. Gonna get 3 kills total? Are you crazy? Wait, he got 3 kills with that Reaper? That is a significant number. Really does feel like he's going into a triple CC behind this as well. Because he's not building any Marines here. He has so much cash in the bank. Oh! On the low ground. See, this is the thing with Byun. He just has balls of steel. Absolute steel. Freaking steel, man. Balls of platinum. Platinum is harder material than steel, isn't it? Platinum balls. Grandmaster balls. It's going to be a Stargate into robotics facility. It's absolutely key that these Cyclones deny the scout. It is key right now that these Cyclones deny the scout. Are they going to be capable of denying the scout?
Systems go. Cyclone ready for action.
Command center.
Needs more Cyclones here in position. Second Phoenix trying to pop in. Not going to get any info. Now, if you have a brain, which I believe Stats does, you see the timing on these barracks, you know there's a third CC. Absolutely. Or you're expecting a proxy starport. It's one of the two. Stats is, yeah, he's gonna scout around, I think. He's gonna scout around. Like for proxies, we've seen Cure before. Take the bottom side base, the bottom right side. He's definitely gonna scout it, but the base is already done. He's building an Immortal as well, which is a mistake. Is it? I think I'd rather get a faster Nexus and Robobay than that. Then again, you do have 4 Phoenixes or something, which aren't necessarily great defense. Oh, I was gonna lose one. That sucks. That super sucks. There's no pressure on you though at all. No, zero. None. Nada. Double eBay as a follow-up. Starport. I'm expecting 2 more Rex to come down as well. Cyclone's now desperately trying to get into the main base. They're gonna lose 4 or 5 workers here. 3, 4. Ah, another Phoenix. These are not good trades. These are not good trades at all. That's a lot of gas that you're losing there. It's 200 gas already down the drain, 300 minerals. All you got for it are these 3 SCVs, which is 150 minerals. Gas is a more important resource at this point in the game for Protoss than minerals are, so these are bad trades all around. Even losing 1 Phoenix for 3 SCVs, in my mind, not really worth it. Unless you can trade all of them out, maybe. Would I take that trade? You lose 3 Phoenixes now. You kill 9 workers instantly. I think that might be okay. This is not okay. Oh my god, he's gonna lose both. He tried to save 1 and as a result loses both. He's trying so desperately to get damage because he's behind, but at this point it is these Phoenixes are a sunk cost and you kind of give up on them mentally. It's like, okay, never mind. Just gonna keep them alive and maybe they'll be helpful later on in the game, but he's aggressively trying to get damage, and as a result, he's aggressively losing Phoenixes. 4 Phoenixes have fallen. This is a terrible, terrible spot that we find ourselves in as Protoss fans. He's gonna get another SCV kill. Observer here does provide enough vision to know when to move back, which is big. I think Byun might have spotted it, though. Yeah, look at that. He's gonna go for it, isn't he? No, he's not. Never mind. I take that back. Phoenix is still flying around. We have a double drop heading out. I don't see a way for Stats to hold this. He has a single Colossus. He has 3 units at the front. Phoenix is now gonna try to hold. This is a tight one. This is real tight. Double Zealot Dwarven is big. We get a lift on that Marauder. This is minus 10 workers. Instantly, I tell you. And at the same time, we still have these 4 Cyclones over here, which potentially could be doing something. It's gonna try to snipe a Colossus with Marines. I've never seen that work before. But maybe today's gonna be a first time. No, it's not. All Marines end up falling. The Colossus stays alive. With a little bit of help from his friend, the Battery. You have no Forge yet, though. No Twilight. No nothing. Is this the 3rd eBay that I see here? That most definitely is the 3rd eBay that I see going down. Forgot about his armory. We're still going to have a significant upgrade lead. Oh, apparently there already is a Forge. Okay, +1. Did cancel that eBay. Just going to go for an armory because he remembered. Wait a second. Didn't I build 2 eBays earlier? I was like, yep, I did. I definitely did. Losing all those Marines sucked. Losing 2 more Phoenixes also freaking sucks. Make that 6 Phoenixes going down so far in this game. 6 Phoenixes. That's 600 gas and 900 minerals. That's a significant cost here for Stats. Byun isn't at the highest supply, but he does have the production right now. He has the infrastructure where I think he can comfortably go into anything from here on out. Like, he has the double upgrades coming in. He has the Ghost Academy on the way. I'm fully expecting a fort base, and I think that's where this SCV is heading as well, towards a fort. Yeah, he's even going to build it on location. He has full map control for the next 10 minutes in the game. I mean, we're seeing a fleet beacon, so that's going to make it even harder for Stats to ever take map control back. Protoss air units not great at taking map control. They're pretty okay at defending near batteries and cannons. Like, the fact that he's building a cannon and a second battery at this 3rd, it's telling a large portion of the tale here. Okay, it makes my job easier of describing what type of spot Stats is in. We're gonna get a triple drop into the natural. You have 4 Phoenixes happily patrolling. That was a good hold. That was actually a very good hold. Good deflection there. It's not a definitive hold, of course. Look how blind Stats is. He has no clue as to what is kicking off. So these Phoenixes need to move in positions. We have a warp in of 4 Zealots over here as well. We do have the charge. We have a cannon going up in the main. Still no fort base, despite there being a lot of cash in the bank. A lot of gas in the bank as well. Stats is struggling spending his money because he doesn't really want to be warping in pure Zealots. It makes no sense, but he doesn't have the infrastructure to pop out 3 carriers at a time. Now he feels comfortable enough to take a fort base, but I am not sure if he should be feeling confident enough to get that fort base. We have 2 starports out with reactors. A third is sure to follow here. If I am Byun, I'm throwing down maybe even 2 extra starports at this point. Or maybe you just go in and try to get the W right away. It is a 1-1 army still. These Marauders, though, moving in forward are going to get the kill on the Colossus. Second Colossus does manage to move away. Carrier now shows up. And Stats actually with a pretty decent hold here so far. The Colossus in the back dishing out a lot of damage. 18 kills total. Colossus will end up falling. That means that these Marines are going to be a lot more helpful than they would be otherwise. Byun tried to go in before his own 2-2 finish, tried to hit a sweet timing. As a result, ends up actually losing a lot of crap. Now his double starports need to start pumping out units at a high pace. Has a fort base ready, has 8 barracks as well. So a counterattack I don't think is quite in the cards. I actually think Byun is going to be the first one to continue the aggression because despite this failed fight, let's not pretend that Byun is behind here for a second. Byun is still ahead. He's still in a phenomenal spot. He's fighting against someone that has 2 Stargate production. It's going to go up to 4 carriers total. Really, I can't wait for a 3rd starport to get added into the mix, but even without that, we have 3-3 upgrades, we have +2 ship weapons on the way, we have Ghost now being built as well. Marauder count is decent, Marine count is good. There is no, I repeat, there is no AoE currently out on the map for Stats. Yes, once Storm finishes up, there's going to be AoE, but that's AoE that can be EMP'd. It's not a Colossus, it's not a Disruptor. These are things that carry significant risk. If you get EMP'd, if you get Scan EMP'd, you have nothing to deal with Marines. And Marines are easy and cheap to produce, but they're very powerful against carriers, especially if the Marines are superiorly upgraded, which they definitely are at this point. 2-2 versus just +1. Let's not forget that the ground force of Stats also is looking mightily weak with no real upgrades on them. And the infrastructure of Byun is really carrying the game at this point. Here we go. It's going to move in forward. Storm has finished up. How many do we have available? I see 1, I see 2, I see 1 because that EMP hit. I still see 1. Do we have another EMP as the interceptors are being taken out? We only have 20 remaining, 19 remaining, 19 remaining interceptors. Marauders get sent in forward. They don't have a purpose in this army anyway. They're going to snipe all of this AoE. And that means that with only 9 interceptors remaining, that's all you have to deal with these Marines. Mothership pops out. That is a big deal. We get a full-on lift. A huge blunder here out of Byun. Is it going to be enough though? No, of course it's not. It's 92 supply against 182. The production is pumping at a high pace. And GG gets called. Byun, after honestly just a much better early game, taking out so many Phoenixes with his Cyclones is really what did it here. And Stats, forced to tap out, loses this series 2-1. It's going to be it for me today. I hope you all enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Bye-bye.